Hi, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Michael Munstock. I want to thank you all for the slight delay. We have also decided to move this on Facebook Live for a major broadcast so that not only our valued business partners, but also a lot of our followers on Facebook can also tune in, get informed, learn from some of the experts in the field, and hopefully enhance their education opportunities with AIBT Global and then a lot of our business partners. Just a quick repeat. My name is Michael Munstock. I'm the Global Product and Marketing Manager for AIBT Global, and I'm coming to you live with two other panelists in the room. I'd like to first off introduce Mr. Barry Yang. Barry Yang has over 8 years of experience in the education industry and is a champion of non-COE products and specialist for onshore students. He also manages a few different territories and markets that I'll let him talk to you a little bit about today. Also live in the room today is Mr. Nikhil Malik, energetic and enthusiastic and an expert on non-COE products as well, working in not only New Delhi, one of the most challenging markets, but then also with inside Australia, enabling students to have a great opportunity with coming up with creative courses and concepts and packages for our students, and a lot working with our agents to make sure that not only the students and agents, but also bringing that information back to AIBT so that we're able to come up with new promotions. Today, on the right-hand side, for those of you who are attending the webinar, not on Facebook Live, on the right side, you'll be able to ask a few different questions. If you are attending on Facebook Live and you are interested, you can always ask a question, and what we will do is we have individuals standing by to try to pass those questions on to the presenters, panelists, and team here at AIBT Global so that we're able to answer your questions, and we're going to ask you to hold those questions until the end. However, if you are a webinar business partner attendee, you can raise your hand and ask a question, so that will actually help us out quite a bit. Okay, so today what we're going to talk about, the main topic today, is how to add value with non-COE courses. Now, we've also included a little bit of a COVID update, and then also an open discussion with our agents, some back and forth discussion, question, answers. Now, I've also included a few different polls for our agents as well. So as we continue through the webinar, I'm going to ask one poll, and on the right-hand side, if you could answer on the GoToWebinar, that would be very helpful for all of us. But first of all, welcome, and let's get started. Okay, so first off, we're going to jump on in. We're going to go into non-COE products. Now, on the top left of your screen, you're going to see an individual. This individual is Sir John Templeton, easy enough to understand because his name is written right there. I'm not sure how many of you know who Sir John Templeton is, but I'll give you a quick explanation. He is an American-born British investor who was championed as the best stock picker of this century. Now, one of his largest quotes is, diversify your investments. So I got to thinking, diversify your investments. How do we as AIBT Global work with our business partners and our students to help diversify their investments? And then it occurred to me, the largest investment that you can make is in yourself. And that resonated really, really strong. That's why the font potentially is a little bit large on the right-hand side, but that resonated very well with me. And so I want you to think about diversifying the opportunities that you can make inside yourself, right? How can we as business partners, education agents, education providers, and students all work together to make the largest investment within inside ourselves? But I want you to just hear that in the background of your mind and think about that as we bring this through presentation a little bit along, okay? So first off, we're going to talk about the eligibility and process, and actually what is a non-COE course. We'll move into available courses that AIBT Global has, enabling us to be able to provide for our students. We'll move on to overall benefits, community services, and then we will give you a full 2020 product update about non-COE courses. So the first individual who will be helping me out on this one is our non-COE expert, Barry Yang. So Barry, say hi to everybody.
Thank you, Michael.
Hey, all right, jump on in.
Yeah, thank you so much. So today our main topic is non-theory courses. I think many people ask, what is a non-theory courses, right? So everyone are familiar with the theory courses, like when the student visa expire, so the student need to using the school theory to apply the student visa. So for non-theory means the student visa don't need to get the theory to apply student visa, means they have other types of visa. So for example, they have a TR, PR, working holiday, or partner visa. Okay, the first common visa is a temporary resident visa. They are like, for example, 485, 489, and 491. So all the types of visa is allow student unlimited study and work during this duration of visa. And the second type is a permanent resident, like for example, 189, 190, and 191. And also, some students may have the partner visas, like they have 820, 810, 801, sorry, 300 and 309. And the last type of visa I want to mention, like is a working holiday visa holder, because this type of visa now is quite popular in Australia. Especially nowadays, they can get 3 years working holiday visa, like after 1 year they can renew, after 1 year they can renew another time. So, but they need to certify with certain requirements. For example, like working hours. And everyone knows working holiday visa, they allow students study 17 weeks courses. And you may ask how they can work with non-theory. Yes. So for example, the student, we have popular course is the 3 individual support. Like we have 3 streams, like agent and community service, and also the disability. So we including like 120 hours like work placement. This is not calculated for the face-to-face training. And also we have 6 weeks breaks. So definitely students can finish everything by like 17 weeks face-to-face training. So after that, they can like get certificate to looking for really good like job opportunities in Australia. Yeah.
One other quick thing.
Yeah. Yes, really thank you our like business partners. For the last 6 months, we nearly get like $500,000 just for the non-theory products. So you can see this is quite popular in Australia now.
Barry, let's go ahead and continue to move on to eligibility.
Yes.
Go ahead and keep talking about the enrollment of the non-COE process, please.
Yeah, so the next step is we mentioned like how is the non-theory enrollment process.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so many our business partner will ask or student ask, what's the non-theory enrollment process? What's the difference we compare with the theory courses? Actually, they are quite similar. So before, like we have so many like non-theory courses, including community service, school, business school, hospitality school, and IT school. So previously, you need to let your customers know what kind of course they want to study. So they need to complete a pre-enrollment form to answer all the questions, what's the interested courses. And after that, they need to meet our document requirements. Due to this is non-theory course, so they don't need to issue a theory to apply for a student visa. So for the documents, quite simple. Like they only need to give us like a passport, TR or PR or partner or working holiday visa, and fill in the application form. And the last part is academic and English requirements. For example, they complete year 10 for the S3 or year 11 or year 12 for the S4 or high level course. For the English level is quite flexible because they already have TR, PR visa. So we can either arrange the internal pre-test for students, or if they have complete S4, ATF level, S4 or high level course in Australia during the last 2 years, so they can waive the entry requirements. So that's really simple, like 4 to 5 documents. And after that, our enrollment team will issue the fourth letter. So after students sign the fourth letter and pay the tuition fee deposit. So we can issue the enroll a student in our job ready and Moodle, and the student will get ID to access the for example the course link and the Moodle link. So that, and after that our student support team will give student full a new student orientation. So that's the 6 major process for the non-COE.
So while we're on this, Barry, Nikhil, are there any questions from our agents that you can see on the right-hand side? Have you seen any questions pop through from any of our agents on this one about the process, enrollment forms, documentation? Did we talk anyway a little bit about the length of time? One good question. I'm just going to go ahead and spitball here a little bit. I have a student who is finishing their course, their temporary residency 485 visa in 6 months. They want to do a diploma of community services, which is a 1-year program. Can my student join this non-COE course? They meet the visa requirements. Are they able to finish the qualification within 6 months through fast track?
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, so the TR or PR is, the condition is unlimited study and work, but that's the visa part. But we need to also meet the academic part, which is our course is 1-year duration. So students need to complete the course through our channel for 1 year. So they only have 6 months visa. So in this case, they cannot finish the course during the visa period. So unfortunately, they cannot join. The reason is we need to, because we provide quality education for our theory and non-theory students. Actually, they are nothing different for the teaching mode and the work placement. So students, they need to using the 1-year COE to apply new visa in the future.
Okay. All right. That answers my question quite clearly. So we need to make sure that the students have enough time on the current visa that they hold in order to be able to finish the course.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, all of those individuals who are on Facebook Live, I realize that you can't see my screen right now, so I'm going to go through just a quick step-by-step. There's 6 simple steps in order to be able to complete the non-COE enrollment process with your trusted agent. Number 1 is complete the pre-enrollment and enrollment forms. Meet documentation requirements. Right? At that point, you will receive a letter of offer, not a conditional letter of offer, and you will sign this letter of offer and get enrolled. Then you sign letter of offer, make a payment. Okay? Once you have made a payment, signed your letter of offer, and submitted that documentation, after that, enrollment process is nearly complete. You will have a student ID issued. And once you've completed your student ID, then we go on to the new student enrollment and the new student orientation. Now, this is something I will talk a little bit more in depth with as we move on. Thank you, Barry. Really appreciate that. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to be talking about, as you can see on here, is our available courses. Now, for those individuals who are on Facebook Live, if you're working with any of the education agents who are our partners with AIBT Global, you need to ask them about what are the non-COE courses available. And a little bit more in this presentation, you'll hear what those courses available are. However, unfortunately, due to technicality issue, you're unable to see this. Okay, so we'll move into this right now, and I understand that we'll try to buff this out and make up for it in another way. And as we continue through the webinar, I'll let you know. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over a little bit to Nikhil. Okay, now the available courses that we have, goes into 6 different schools, as you can see right here. Dana School of Community Service, Ada School of Information Technology, Branson Business School, Edison School of Tech Sciences, and the Sheldon School of Hospitality. All right, Nikhil, I'm going to jump into Diana, and it's over to you.
Thank you, Michael. So in Diana School of Community Service, we have, if you can see, 8 courses available. First, the main popular course is Diploma of Community Service and Certificate 3 in Individual Support, like Barry was telling you before. In Certificate 3 of Individual Support, we have 3 streams: aging, disability, and home and community. So these are the specialization in Certificate 3 of Individual Support, and the duration is very less as compared to Diploma of Community Service. So the duration is almost 35 weeks. And if you can see, the price of these all three courses in non-COE is $3,000 and COE is 4,000. And material fees is 500. If you pay full fees upfront 3,000, you will get the material fee waiver, and the total discount will be 1,500 till 30th of June. So in that case, you have to deposit full amount upfront on one payment at the time of enrollment. And also, I just would like to share this diploma of community service. So the COE price is 8,000 and non-COE is 6,000. And if you can see, the material fees is also 1,000 here. And again, the same promotion is applied here. If student deposit full amount $6,000, student will get the waiver of material fees. So the discount will be 3,000. So this promotion is till 30th of June, and after 30th of June, we will have a one payment module. So there will be no material fees, only one tuition fees for each and every course. And I would like to share this after this certificate 3, we have another course like certificate 4 in aging support, certificate 3 in early childhood, diploma of early childhood, and certificate 3 individual support, and this package with certificate 4. These are the prices. COE, it's certificate 4 is 6,000, certificate 3 in early childhood is 8,000, and diploma of early childhood is 8,000. And non-COE prices are also, if we compare with the COE and non-COE prices, are quite less.
Great. Now, we're also going to be jumping into a little bit more of the Diana School of Community Services later on in the webinar as well, just because there's been so much interest. And I'll talk a little bit about why has there been so much interest in these courses, and then also locations. And when we go into our 2020 analysis of our current sales for non-COE products as well. But hold on to your hats. We're going to go ahead and jump over into the next school. Okay, Nikhil, ready?
Yeah.
All right.
So next school is Ada School of Information Technology. Here we have a Diploma of Information Technology, and the price is 8,000 for COE, and non-COE is 6,500. Also, so there is a promotion apply in this course as well for material fees waiver if student deposit full tuition fees of $6,500. And after that, we can go on Branson School Business, Diploma of Logistics, Project Management, Graduate Diploma of Strategic Leadership, Graduate Diploma of Management Learning. So these are the prices. 6,000 is for diploma and 8,000 for graduate diplomas for COE. And for non-COE, it's 5,000 for diploma courses, and for graduate diploma of strategic is 6,000, and management learning is 6,500. Also, just wanted to share, like, we have waived the material fees till 30th of June. So if student deposit half payment or full payment, student will get the waiver of material fees, whatever the material fees. So it's a waiver till 30th of June. And again, I would like to inform, from 1st of July, we will have one fees module. So there will be no material fee. So agent will get the benefit of that, because if tuition fees is included material fees, so agent will get the commission on that tuition fees. Also, and we have some packages available if you want to do some package like 2 years or 1.5 year. So you can contact your sales managers according to your needs.
Absolutely. And sorry to interrupt you, Nikhil. Now, this is something that we've seen a lot from not only students communicating through agents, but also sales managers working with the other two parties in order for us to be able to create these unique packages, stay ahead of the curve, and enable students to be able to come up with a unique opportunity for them to be able to study a non-COE course. Okay, so keep that in the back of your head. If you see something, always contact your sales manager. Nikhil, ready for the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Edison School of Tech Sciences. So the very famous course in Australia, light vehicle for auto mechanic, certificate 3 in light vehicle, and the COE price is 21,000. And if you see the comparison with COE and non-COE is 15,000, and the material fees is 750 again. So the same promotion applies here till 30th of June. If you pay full piece of $15,000, you will get the waiver of 750. Very good course. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you are one of our AIBT Global business partners, this information is all available on the non-COE promotion guide that we have sent out to you. If you do not have this, please contact your sales manager.
So next school is Sheldon School of Hospitality, and famous school in AIBT, and the famous course of commercial cookery in all over Australia. You know, the qualification of cook if you complete certificate free in commercial cookery. And the commercial cookery price is 6,000 for non-COE and 8,000 for COE. So difference is $2,000. Student will get the promotion price, and also we have promotion same applies here. Like if student deposit full amount of 6,000 here, student will get the waiver of $750. So total discount will be like 2,750 if student deposit full deposit upfront at the time of enrollment. So the same courses, the same things apply on the other courses as well. Certificate 3 in patisserie, diploma of hospitality, and diploma of travel and tourism management, advanced diploma of travel and tourism management. So travel and tourism is like very unique course and very popular course at this moment. And in Hobart, we are the only CRICOS registered for this course. So we are the only provider providing this diploma of travel and tourism in Hobart. And if you compare the prices, I can say like the certificate 3 commercial cookery and patisserie is same, and diploma of hospitality is 12,000 for COE, non-COE is 6,000. The promotion is applied here as well for $500 if student deposits $6,000 upfront for non-COE full payment. So student will get the waiver of $500. So total discount, if you can see, the huge amount is 6,500. That's very huge. And for
just a heads up, we will get this information out to you as well. Sorry to interrupt, Nikhil.
Yeah, sorry. So for the child tourism, I want to give more details why we launched these new courses in our region campus, especially in Hobart. Firstly, as Nikhil mentioned, like say advanced diploma of child tourism, we are the only CRICOS provider in Hobart provide this course. And as we all know, like due to the COVID-19, so Australia or all the world like lose a lot. But in Australia, like tourism is really a big part for this country. So the government already invests a lot of money and put a lot of effect in the child tourism. So when the students study in the region area, especially Hobart, so when they graduate, it's really benefit for them to apply for the future visas.
And also, like in Sheldon School, we have some packages available. So if you want to know more about the packages, you can contact your sales managers, and student can contact to agents and sales manager as well.
Perfect. Now, with all of that information, basically, we'll think about this. Well, I've gotten my student visa. I'm offshore, but I can't travel to Australia. What do I do? Right? AIBT Global has able to enroll students. They have two different options, right? They can enroll online, and through the online studies, they need to go through online orientation, which is something I'll talk about, or they can defer. How long are you able to defer your course? Usually this is up to 28 days, but you need to check with the Heart Services team, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we continue on. But let's say that you have decided to continue your studies because you've heard that Scott Morrison is starting to tease individuals to let students into Australia. You want to start your online orientation. Let's check it out. Let's see how that works. Okay. So basically what we've been doing is we've actually had weekly intakes for offshore and onshore students. Now, there are 3 simple steps for individuals that need to be able to start online orientation. Number 1 is to know the dates of your online orientation. Number 2 is to complete the sign-up process. And number 3, attend the orientation. Now, our complete sign-up process, once you become a student of AIBT Global, all of this information is actually emailed to you by the Heart Services team. You download the information sheet, upload your documentation that you would be bringing to any orientation if you were live in Australia. You need to bring this and submit this information to the Heart Services team prior to orientation. And then, simply enough, attend the orientation. On this slide, you can actually see Jerry. Jerry is an actual champion of the Heart Services team. I mean, this smile, I think, is basically plastered on his face 100% of the time, and we're very lucky to have him. Not only that, but he also engages the students extremely well. Now, what we'll do is we'll show you a quick little video on this, and now individuals who are on Facebook Live, I apologize, you won't be able to see this video right away. However, you can always go to our YouTube page or even on the videos on Facebook as well. Another quick tip is that you can go onto our aibtglobal.edu.au. Now in the top right section of our website, you'll actually see a little highlighted button that says Students. Once you click on Students, you can actually go through the Heart Services and online orientation information, directions, videos, all about that information to be able to help you get online and get orientated while you're either abroad or you're onshore and you're staying away due to COVID. So, quick video, let's see how online orientation works.
Thank you everyone for joining. Well, hello to everyone. Hello. Hey, thanks.
Are you based in Australia or in your home country?
No, I'm from Pakistan.
Oh, now in Pakistan.
So throughout the day, we have 2 orientation sessions, and we are covering different topics in each session.
When you come to AIBT, you find yourself dealing with people from different race, color, religion, culture, language.
We have our student pool coordinators standing by in the chat box. So whenever you pose any questions, we have our teammate responding to your questions.
We have 2 accesses. One is the Discovery Library, another one is the Student Portal. You can step-by-step log into your account. Input the full student email address. For the students who have any questions or concerns, feel free to stay in this chat box. I'm going to continue this session for roughly half an hour, just for any questions. Please stay safe and healthy.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. I always get really excited about these online orientations and videos that go with it. But not only that, seeing the students that, you know, even in a rough situation are able to come together through our online platforms and be able to see each other face to face. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's something that is bringing us all a little bit closer together, which I think is great. Moving right along within the non-COE update, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the overall benefits for non-COEs. So basically, this is going to be going right over to Barry again. So Barry,
Okay.
tell us a little bit.
Thank you so much. There are a variety of benefits for the non-COE products. Firstly, a student actually compared with the COE students, non-COE students get the same quality of training. It means that they are studying the same course, doing the same assessment, and doing the same work placement. So it's nothing different. The only difference is they are on a different visa stream. And in Australia, if the student want to find a really good job, they need to have a basic certificate to enter this industry. For example, certificate 3 in individual support, or 3 light vehicle, or diploma level. So it's better student can get some certificate plus bachelor or master degree in Australia. And in Australia, for example, especially in the regional area, the community worker or aging care or early childhood is high demanding. So they are really good, like can easily find job in the future. So that's what we do non-COE for the community service schools. Yeah, definitely, this is a higher commission rate for for our business partners. So it's really welcome to contact a sales manager to relate to you about the commission part.
That's great. Now, quickly touch about those essential workers. I'll discuss a little bit more when we get into another section over here about why essential workers is so important, not only for students, for agents as well, and for the community. Okay, now that actually goes directly over to me. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about Diana School of Community Services. Okay, when I was researching a little bit more information, I came across the Australian Council of Social Service, known as CRICOS. Okay, now basically what this was is there was actually a snapshot for demand, future demand that was presented in 2019, December 2019, roughly about a little bit more than 6 months ago. Okay, now there's a couple of different areas. Number one is the perception to meet demand. Has demand increased? And then also some of the key benefits. Now, as Barry has already talked about, quality trainers in course, Ms. Henna Sharma is an outstanding head of the school, and we've only great feedback about her as well, and the rest of her staff as well, which has been we're very lucky to have her. I'll be very honest, we're very lucky to have her. It's been great. The high demand for the Australian community service workers and deemed essential workers. I'll talk about these two things in specific, okay? Now, the high demand for the Australian community service workers, due to the snapshot that ACOSS was able to deliver, you can actually see where the demand is actually coming in. Now, deemed essential workers, this has to do with COVID-19, right? Now, when individuals in the community shut down, when we went all into lockdown, what happened? Individuals who were deemed essential globally were able to continue work. Yes, they were at risk, absolutely. However, when you go through the Diana School of Community Services and you also learn more about the COVID updates, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, you understand how to be able to protect yourself. Also, it's all over the news with how to protect yourself. Wash your hands until they're raw with face masks. You guys know the deal. But deemed essential workers means that you can work. Now, during a lockdown, being able to work as a student in Australia is a very, very beneficial thing. Keep in mind this snapshot for December 2019. Now, this first slide that I'm going to show you is the perception to be able to meet demand. The perception to be able to meet demand. They went ahead and sent out a survey to 1,433 individuals to be able to see what they thought their perception of capacity to meet demand by specific services. On the left side, moving up and down, and again, individuals on Facebook Live, this information will be made available for you. Housing and homelessness. 36% of individuals were rarely or never able to meet demand within the market of the service industry. 48% were somewhat able to meet demand. Financial counseling, another one where there was a lot of individuals that were unable to meet demand. But as we move down here, okay, health-related services, community development, child, youth, and family, aging, disability and care, employment, and education. Most of these have brought forward more than a 50% rarely or never able to meet demand and somewhat able to meet demand. There are only one industry where they were able to actually mostly meet the demand, and that's employment and education. There's a lot of individuals in the education industry, as I think we have a lot of individuals who are there in this group right now. But think about this. That was the snapshot that came forward in December 2019. This did not, no one could have predicted COVID. Nobody could have been able to predict this. But, so as we think about the perception to meet demand, has demand increased according to the perception from 2019? This is another important graph on the left, okay? Again, housing and homelessness, aging, disability, and care, okay? The main points that I want you to take away from this, because all this information will be made available to you as a participant of this, is during 2019, staff were working in the context of increasing demand, okay? 13% stated that demand had stayed the same, while 2% stated that demand had either decreased or decreased significant, and 3% were unsure. That means that the majority of the individuals here had stated that demand had increased across all of these sectors, right? And that's pre-COVID. I'm very interested to see how this information is going to be able to be met now that we know the actual demand, if there is an actual pandemic or there is more individuals who are there, right? Now, other people who've also gotten in, I remember seeing many other industries that had to jump in and be able to help out when they were essential workers to be able to combat this virus, right? So this information is going to be made available to you on the presentation. You can also see that I put in a small bit.ly or a link that you can basically just grab, highlight, and then put back into your web browser, any web browser, and it'll actually pull up even more information about all of the data that I was able to research and get from the Australian Council of Social Service. Now, again, I had talked a little bit about online studies, okay? If you were a student that was actually enrolled and you have gone through online orientation, what can you do? Now you're stuck at home, you want to join classes, how do we help? So we'll talk a little bit about our online classrooms for just a second. So again, quality training, the same quality training that you would be able to get, face-to-face interactions between you, your trainer, and your students. Now this is available for all the students regardless of location. You're sitting at your home in Pakistan, you're hanging out in Pokhara, you're down in Rio de Janeiro, you're able to log into your virtual classrooms. Now we also have breakout classrooms for different projects. What we like to focus on is group work at AIBT Global, right? This actually is a direct reflection of how the business world actually works. There's a very small number of individuals who work individually, right? So we really push to get these group projects. Now, our interactive technology enables the trainers to bring the classroom directly to you and the participant. That's very important. If you're an agent, soon, I'm going to give you a little bit of a teaser, we're going to be opening up some of our online classes so that you're able to actually see this for yourself, okay? So I think each one of the different sales managers will give you more information as this progresses. But this has been a direct key moment for management to be able to push this through to the sales teams so that you can see exactly what the students are getting. It's very important for us to be as transparent as possible and for all of our students and agents to know everything. Compliance is key. So moving back into that, I'm going to show you a little bit of what the online education via our video conferencing technology looks like for the Diana School of Community Services. Let's check it out. Oh boy.
My name is Shinisha. Most of you have met me, one of the community services nursing trainers. Can you please type in the chat box your student number as part of the attendance? We have got a variety of students from different cultures, from different backgrounds, different languages. If it's constantly raining, okay, you can bring some sand in a bucket or in a truck, water truck, put it in there and get the children to play with it. Can I ask you guys, what do you mean by diversity? People of different backgrounds, might be culture or religion. Think of one activity and think of the short-term goal and the long-term goal and which age group it's appropriate for. The long-term goal, I told you, like alphabet rhymes. Yes. And age group is 3 to 4, 3 to 5.
So you start from the regions of your nose to the outside, towards the ear, from inside towards outside. I hope you have already done the assignments. We will see you next week. Until then, stay safe, remain happy. Thank you.
Pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick poll on this as well. I wanted to make sure and just see how many of our agents are actually, so if we can just do a quick poll in here, there's a couple of these different polls that we had put together that I wanted to engage a little bit of our attendees with. And as you're able to answer, this will give us a little bit of a better idea so that we can kind of tailor some of this information for you. One of them was, are you based in Australia or are you not based in Australia? Okay, have you had any interests within non-COE products? So Barry, I'm going to go ahead and task that to you. If you could please go ahead and submit the first poll. If not, I'm going to ask another individual on here to be able to do that as well. Okay, but we're going to continue as we move on. Okay. All right. Now, after this, we're going to go ahead and talk about our product performance for 2020. Now, in this, I'm going to call on Barry to be able to talk about how is 2020 shaped up for non-COE products. Barry, off to you.
Yes. So start with the 2020, like 97% of students prefer our regional campus, like Tasmania or Hobart. And our head office is in Brisbane. So the Gold Coast also will be region area. So I think this area will be also popular in the future. And the demanding, like as we mentioned last half year, we bring like around $500,000 for the non-COE products. We can say this is really popular in the market. The reason is the students can save a lot of money for the non-COE course because of the TR/PR visa. And they also can learn like practical skills, like they can go to the childcare center, community service to learn more like practical to help for the future jobs. And we can see 92% is a course in like the diploma community service, so 3 years support or early childhood is belongs to the Diana Community Service School. And another really popular course is our our hospitality school, which is C3 commercial cookery and the C3 patisserie. So those two particular courses I will recommend to our business partners is students will learn a lot of practical skills in the kitchen, and the third course is our like more than 30 years chef, our quality trainer. So I met them in our every campus. So they are really qualified, and our student feedback is really love their classrooms.
So I think a little bit of these are very established when it goes into the community services, but then we also have these emerging ones, as Barry had mentioned. So up to date demand.
Yeah, the emerging one is our hospitality, like a patisserie and commercial cookery. Yeah, definitely. And the tourism is also good. By the way, we have I know this is a non-COE webinar, sorry. And for the COE, for the tourism diploma, advanced diploma, we launched the promotion just $10,000 for students. It's a really good price, and they can learn a lot and also apply for the future visas. Okay, as we can see the chart, last 3 months, we get like more than 100 students. I think the reason is, the next peak time, I think it will be July, August. The reason is many students will graduate from the bachelor or master degree at June or July. So after that, they get 2 years certified. So it's easy, I always recommend like our Asian students, don't waste of time for the 2 years certified visa or other types of TR visa, because if they can think about earlier and quick start a really useful course, so they can get future visa earlier. So that's our recommendation.
Great. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so basically what we've done for our non-COE products, we've been able to talk about the eligibility, what it is, what's the process to become enrolled, available students, overall benefits, the community services suite of products and why they're so beneficial for a lot of our students, and then obviously our product performance, this one. Now, I think, as Barry mentions, August, which is going to be probably the next largest intake for us. Now, many individuals, if you haven't sold non-COE before, or if you're a student, you're contemplating this, you're thinking, there's no way I can do this in time, right? However, Barry, what's the turnaround time for you to be, if a student has all the documentation, how fast would it take to be able to get a student enrolled?
Okay, well, AIBT Global always the fast and efficiency. Doesn't matter theory or non-theory. So especially for non-theory, as I mentioned, like the student don't need to have IELTS or PT, we can do an internal pretest or, with the entry requirements. Due to student already have visa, so it's really fast. Normally take 1 or 2 days, maximum 2 days to finish all the process to enroll student. And currently we have the weekly intake from the July to September. So it's really easy for student enroll every Monday for the intake.
Great, thank you so much. All right. Now that leaves us with the end of our first session of the webinar. Now we're going to jump into the second portion of our presentation. I'm going to jump over here. I want to see, we do have a couple of different questions. Okay, great. Now on this one, we're going to go ahead and we'll bring in a couple of these other questions at the end of that presentation. I'll move forward through a couple of the COVID updates, not very quickly, but I'll try to speed it up. I know that your time is extremely valuable, so I appreciate your patience on this as well. Okay. Now, as I move into the COVID update, a lot of this is going to be review for you. So I hope that this is still valuable information about how AIBT Global is able to work with inside the Australian government's recommendations. As you all know, the Australian 3-step plan was through COVID safe. Okay. Now I'll jump into step 1. Really straightforward. I think every single state and territory has already passed this. Okay. Non-work gatherings of up to 10 people, 5 visitors in a home, normal residents. If you work from home, for you and your employer, if it works for you and your employer, and the workplace develop a COVID safe plan. Now, obviously, people are still avoiding public transportation and doing social distancing. Now, obviously, step 2, both of these major states have already moved on into past step 2, and they're trying to implement step 3, which I'll talk about. Gatherings can increase to up to 20 people, and states and territories may allow larger numbers in certain circumstances as the virus continues to attack. Step 3, really straightforward, opening the businesses and community, okay? Now, the 4 square meter per person rule, 1.5 in social distancing, and then returning when it's allowed and if capacity and if your business actually allows it. And always trying to avoid public transportation and peak hours. Now, how does AIBT Global fit into the COVID safe plan? So as I mentioned previously, these steps first and second steps have already passed for many states and territories. So what we are doing is we're slowly starting to bring students back into the campus after addressing COVID safe and implementing our plan from our critical incident team. Our critical incident team, this is always an ongoing process, an ongoing continuous process of evaluation, right? Safety, capacity, facilities, and we take individuals from many different faculties, right, and many different sectors within inside our own business to ensure that we analyze the information correctly, we get the updates correctly from the government, and we're able to implement them to be able to help our students. So what that actually looks like is actually improved health and hygiene, how we can protect our students. Now it goes through a lot of the same information I've already covered, okay? Good hygienic practices, stay at home when unwell, cleaning and monitoring of the campuses as well, okay? Now that also moves into our capacity at AIBT Global, ensuring AIBT classrooms abide by social distancing, adapting when possible through our campuses, and returning the students school by school. Now, if you're interested in your specific students who are returning to different campuses or classes, this really is, again, school by school, okay? So even we had some information on our Facebook page about individuals who were joining back in Hobart, Tasmania. Great. Now, I want to highlight there, adapting our campuses to larger spaces when possible. Our Homebush, a specialized laboratory out there and campus, we actually are able to break down some of the walls within inside the building so that we're able to accommodate more space and have the 4 square meter per person rule. Now, this doesn't affect the capacity of the classroom, but it does mean that we have to do a little bit better job when it comes to timetabling and utilizing our virtual classrooms, right? But, when you have the opportunity to be able to work and study from home, and have this anytime kind of aspect with a non-COE product, this really does help. However, those individuals who are students and on student visas need to abide by the COVID safe updates from the government and also through our critical incident team. And this information is always updated. You can find it directly on our website at the very top, coronavirus updates. Okay. Also, I want to highlight our heart services. Now, this is something that I would love to talk in more depth about because I think everybody here understands that we all get very passionate about how we can actually help our students. And when you see some of the ways that we're able to impact some of their lives and how they become a part of the AIBG global family, it really does make us feel great about what we're able to provide for our students. Now, the heart services starts with health and well-being, enrollment services, administrative services, research and academic, and obviously the transition into the future. This is a 360 holistic view of the student. Now, it's extremely important that we think about the student pre-enrollment, during enrollment services, how we can help them while they're studying, the research and academic to be able to bring in other aspects and other education from real live case studies. And then also, not only that, but the transition into the future. Right? If I'm a student and I'm going to class, I want to know how I can make an impact in society and how I can become very well educated and how I can change as an individual. And we're lucky enough to have the heart services a part of that. Now I've written down here that it's our goal to ensure that we're upholding the welfare of our students. And that was happening long before COVID happened. Okay. So one of the things that we've decided to do is I've put on a small video on here about how we were just able to go the extra mile with our care packages. So we had more than 300 care packages handed out. We distributed them across all of the campuses. So please take a look at this quick video. We'll continue.
Hi everyone. As part of our AIBT global family, our students are our primary focus during this COVID-19 pandemic. We know it's been a tough time for everyone over the past few weeks, especially for our international students. So we will be providing AIBT global care packs to all our students.
It is a privilege to show that the school do care for our students.
I'm very appreciative for AIBT to give us this care day.
I'm much more excited and happy that I'm part of AIBT, that they give a full support to their students.
I really appreciate the student people care band from AIBT Global, and it's really hard for students to manage things in this pandemic situation.
I think this is good for us. I didn't hear any other college doing these things. So
We're just trying to step up and help everybody out. It's not easy for all of us to try to work together as a team, school provider, business partners, students, so that we're able to help out and work with each other in these times of need. And, I'm really proud of that, and I'm really proud of our team. I'll stop there before I get too emotional. Okay, final thing. Social emotional. Okay, pictured on here is our counselor, Mr. Zora Ali. And he is an outstanding individual who has the ability to be able to really listen from the heart, to be able to help understand, see things from a different perspective. And we understand how COVID has changed a lot of individuals' lives, how people must be stressed out. But I mean, even before that, people may have had issues that they wanted to talk to about. Maybe you just want a second opinion. Maybe you need to go and talk to somebody about what's going on in your life. And he's there. We're there. We shortened down this video quite a bit because he, like me, can get very passionate about helping others and listening and trying to provide the best for our students. So I'll play this one small 1-minute video, and then we're going to move into our discussion session. Thank you very much for being patient.
The staff, the trainers, teachers,
apologies.
At AIB. Hello everyone. So my message to our students at AIBT Global, I am thinking about all of you, all of our teachers, trainers, head of schools, and the staff at AIBT. I'm thinking about you. We at AIBT, as you know, we really care for you, but you're not on your own. This is not just happening to our students, it's happening to the whole world. Maybe not as hard as the students are going through, not just at AIBT, but all of the schools. But I want to tell you, on behalf of AIBT, the staff, the trainers, teachers, head of schools, I want to say we all think of you, we all care for you, we love you, and it'll be very soon that we will get together again to see you face to face. We wish you all the best. Thank you.
All right. Well, I mean, it really tugs on the heartstrings there a little bit. So before we get too far into that, let's move back. Okay. Now, that's AIBT's plan to move forward. Now, I've got this open discussion here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull over to these questions. Now, Barry, Nikhil, and I are going to answer all of these so we can get to our business partners. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mustafa Hussein had asked question, can I do this for protection visa holders? Barry, can you handle that one? The protection visa holders? Do you know what he's talking about on that?
Protection visa. Well, there are so many types of visa. So the basic thing we need to see the visa conditions. Like for example, I just give an example, okay? So I got some clients, they are the PhD students, or they are master research students, but they're like a partner have the same visa, but they put no more than 3 months study. So except we cannot enroll student for the student visa, right? But for other types of visa, we need to see the conditions. So please check the immigration home affairs and when they send the visa granted, can you see the conditions? If there's a no, like for example, unlimited study and work, yes, they can.
Okay. So it sounds like it's kind of a case-by-case situation.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yeah, we mentioned like a really common visa types, like for example, like TR, PR, partner visa, or like working holiday visa. This is really quite common visa types in currently, but we definitely have some special visas, but we need to check the conditions for the visa conditions. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, as we're talking about individuals or case by case, the length of the visa that they're on may have different access for them to be able to study a duration of the course.
Yeah.
All of these things come into play. And so what Mustafa Hussein, sir, what I would recommend is that you talk with your sales manager to be able to get a better understanding about what the specific case is for this protected visa holder. Okay, yeah. And I hope that answers your question. If there's any more questions that you can, please just kind of write them down. Because right here, basically at the bottom, it's saying they have the full right to study, but most of them do not have a passport, but have an immigration card. Again, this goes to the direct sales manager for us to be able to analyze. Okay.
Oh yeah, and also like if they are not sure, so maybe always they can check our migration agents to ask about the visa questions. Like so, or can I study like full time, without a theory, or do I need like what's the conditions and the limitations? So that's another option for our like students. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Barry. Thank you, Barry. All right, we're going to move right along. Okay. Okay, to Mr. Ramchandra Patel. Okay. Do all the subjects offered by AIBT Global, are they considered for the non-COE process? Okay. Again, as we've mentioned, if there are specific courses that students are interested in, we can consider them. Okay. Now, not every single one right now we have not promoted as a non-COE course. Not every single one. We've not promoted this. But as we mentioned when Nikhil was going through all the different courses, these are things that we might be able to consider, especially different packages. Nikhil, is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, we have few packages also available in few different schools. If you want any kind of package or any different course like we have mentioned in the presentation, you can ask your sales managers.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now I've heard this question a couple of times. I'm going to move on down. English proficiency proof, is this required? Who wants to handle it? Barry, can you jump in on this?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Because this is not COE, right? So it means that students do need to use the COE to apply the student visa. So we have like 3 options for this type of group students. Firstly, if they have IELTS or PT or TOEFL or other like international English test result, definitely we can set minimum is 5.5 IELTS equivalent. A second type is if they complete CERT certificate or high level course in Australia during the last 2 years, definitely with the entry requirement. The last option is we can do the internal pretest. See, with our director study Babak. So can do the Skype interview. Yeah, so 3 options.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Certified English test, right? English exclusion rule, okay, and then internal English examination.
Yeah.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Okay. Next question that we have. Okay, what are the key selling points to market non-COE products? Actually, it's a 2-question one. And what are the major benefits for a visa holder to attend this course? Okay. Nikhil, I'm going to turn this over to you. Can you go ahead and describe some of those for us, please?
Yeah. So there are so many benefits, while studying in non-COE course as comparative to COE. So first of all, the benefit is price. The price is different from COE product. And if I'm talking about the price, so the quality is same as Barry mentioned before. The practical training, the classrooms, everything is same. The price is different because they have already 485 or TR or maybe PR as well. So, and there are more benefits like while studying non-COE course, student can work as a full-time because they have rights of full-time work. They are holding 485 or PR or other visa. They can work full-time and study as well. So after completion of these course, like 35 weeks course, certificate 3, or maybe diploma of community service, they have many opportunities open to work in any aged care homes.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And I'm going to jump in here a little bit. Also, I want to highlight the flexibility of having a non-COE. And if you are a non-COE student, okay, that means that you do have opportunities for you to be able to study online, okay, from the comfort of your home, from another location if necessary as well. Okay. Now, and the major benefits for a visa for the visa holder, a non-COE. Sorry, a visa holder, but not a student visa holder to attend this course. Nikhil, I think, went over this in quite a lot of detail as well. Okay. Now, excuse me. Okay, Michael, Barry, Nikhil. Okay, Salman, Bahar. Okay, a query for an onshore or offshore. I have a query that this is for onshore or offshore, and non-COE means that they do not have to pay fees. Okay, I'll jump on that one. No, unfortunately, that they do have to pay fees. Okay, and this is for onshore individuals only, as we went through there for TR, PR, working holiday visa holders, and there was one more that I'm drawing a blank on right now. Barry, help me out. TR, PR, working holiday.
Yeah, working holiday and the partner visa, and also the working holiday visa.
That's right, and the working holiday
Yeah,
ones.
sorry, I just want to correct one thing for the English examination. So basically, they don't need to complete 100% CEFOR or high level course. They need to complete like more than 70%. For example, if they can get 70% transcript from the school, it's okay.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Very good. Now, one thing we did not cover, and I'm really glad that Napur Sharma actually put this up here. What about the payment flexibility? Okay. Sorry, Nikhil, please jump in on this.
So payment flexibility, we have two options in non-COE. If you see the price of our main popular course is 6,000 for Diploma of Community Service, and I think 3,000 or 4,000 for Certificate 3 of Individual Support. So student can pay full fees upfront, and student will get the discount of material fees till 30th of June. Okay, and we have another option, 3,000 deposit, half deposit. Student can pay half deposit, and student can enroll in non-COE. And yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so payment flexibility, not a lot of payment flexibility for non-COE courses, which is what we're talking about. If you have questions about payment flexibility for student visa holders, we can talk about that in another session. Okay, Nipun, I hope that answered your question, sir. Okay, next question that we have. Can a student complete Certificate 3 in individual support online? Barry, you've got the most experience when it comes to community services. Please jump in.
Yes, you mean the student hold the TRPR or other kind of visa, not a student visa, right?
Yes.
Yes, they can do some units by online. Definitely, because we provide the work placement, so for work placement cannot be online. Yeah. Like 100 hours for the diploma for community service, 120 hours for the CESUI individual support, and 120 hours for the CESUI early childhood, and 240 hours for diploma early childhood. So that's kind of hours we cannot do online, but for other units, definitely. And also we will check with our head of school to give more details with all the sales manager, and really welcome all the business partners to ask our sales manager from today.
Okay. Now, I apologize that we weren't able to launch the polls earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and start launching a couple of these quick ones. Okay, so if you can please collect, just type in if you're onshore or offshore. This helps us a little bit gauge and discuss when we're going through this discussion point as well. I can see a lot of individuals that are jumping in here. Okay, only 23% have responded. On the right side of your screen, depending on where your control panel is for GoToWebinar, you can see all this information over here. Okay, or roughly about 30%. So please jump on in. Quick 1 or 2 answers over there. I think it's just, yeah, onshore or offshore. Pretty straightforward. Thank you very much. And we're going to continue to answer some of these questions as they're coming in. Okay, I've got another question here from Ram Chandra Podel. Okay, do the COE student holders get the discount for full payment fee until the 30th of June? Now, I believe that we had only launched the full COE payment holders. On this one, there was only one where there was actually a discount for full payment fees. I think that we had always had done the 2% discount on this one, right? And that was written actually into the full letter of offer as well. 2% discount applies for a full payment fee for this COE visa holder, but not to the price point of a non-COE. So if they actually have a COE holder, they can't apply for a non-COE course, which is, so if you're a COE holder, that means you're on a student visa. So therefore you're unable to get the discount of an individual that would be able to get the non-COE, okay? So, and that one, that would not apply. That would not apply. However, there is a different discount for individuals who make full payments upon their letter of offer, and I believe it's actually still written in the letter of offer. A 2% discount applies for individuals who have actually made a full payment on those. Okay, Barry, Nikhil, anything to add on that?
No, that's okay. That's all right.
Okay, great. Okay. All right. Next question that we have here by Punjit Junita. Punjit Junita. Okay, cool. I think I've actually met him before. If a person is a citizen of Australia and has 2 years experience as an automotive mechanic working under a supervisor, will they need to do the full course, or can they get advanced standing and finish early? Okay, now you're touching on a subject that we're going to be working on in upcoming webinars, which will be recognition of prior learning, excuse me, and advanced standing. Well, I get some water. Barry, can you jump in on this one, please? Pardon me.
Yes. So you mean the student already have the working experience for the automotive, right?
Yeah, so I'll repeat the question on this one. This is a very, very good question that they have. If a person is a citizen of Australia and has years of experience as an automotive mechanic working under a supervisor, will he or she need to do the full course, or can they get advanced standing and finish early?
Okay, so that's a really good question. The reason is the student is firstly they are the Australian citizen, right? Definitely.
That's right.
Certified with the visa type. And I want to bring another point, RPL. So student already, as mentioned, under the supervisor for maybe 2 or 3 years experience, you know. So maybe we can do the RPL, maybe do RPL for this student.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So yeah, and also I know we will have the next webinar for the RPL. So it's really welcome to join again. And we will give you all the answers.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and close this poll so that we can get the next poll up. Okay, excuse me really quickly. I can see you guys here very good. Great, okay, let me go ahead and close this one. Great, okay. Now, quickly, I'm going to go ahead and jump on this since we've got 80 of 101 participants in the group. 54% of you are onshore. 46% of you are offshore. Almost dead even. So this is really great. This is really great because I think a lot of individuals may be wanting this. Let me go ahead and share the results out to everybody. Okay. All right, quick poll. Great, hopefully you can see my screen here on this one. Wonderful. Okay. All right. Now, the next one. If you are an onshore agency, where are you located? Now, this only gives me a few different options. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll. Again, on the right-hand side, if you are onshore, if you are the 56% onshore, please jump on in, give me a quick answer on this one. Oh man, this is great. And I apologize for the other. I don't know if we have many. We have a few different agents in these other areas. Okay. All right. Now we're going to jump back into the questions over here. All right. Questions on my poll. Where's my poll? Here we go. Questions. Here we go. All right. Now, the next question that we have, excuse me. All right. What are the English requirements for offshore online courses? Okay, I'm going to jump in on this one. This is pretty straightforward. Okay, now if you're an offshore, student, you're an offshore student and you have a COE, that means that you are a COE holding student, which means that you are on a student visa even though you are offshore. Okay, so again, it depends on the country requirement that you come from, okay? So if you are a part of the streamlined visa process, that means that you may or may not have English exemptions, which means that you need to have at least some sort of a test and meet the English requirements deemed necessary by your sales manager and the course, okay? We have different criteria for different courses, and you can find all that information directly in the back of our courses and fees brochure at the very back, and then also on our website, okay? Now, if you are a non-COE student with Inside Australia, there are 3 different ways that we mentioned earlier for individuals to be able to pass the English, okay? Now that one is if you've completed 70% of a 2-year course, okay, with Inside Australia, all right? If you have an actual English certificate from IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge, OET, all those, or if you have actually done the English interview with us as well, okay? So those are the English requirements that are necessary. Okay, now the next one that we're going to be moving forward, okay, yeah. Again, it's the same one about English proficiency requirements for non-COE courses. Okay, this goes straight forward on this one again, okay? Okay, I apologize. There's a couple of different questions more about English on here as well. Okay. All right, now James Palmer. James, thank you for being so patient. Okay, Health Minister Greg Hunt has heavily hinted on Australia's international borders remain closed until a coronavirus vaccine is developed today on ABC Radio. How does this affect our strategies moving forward? Okay, yeah, very good. Again, this is always an adaptation. I'll put it straightforward. This is an always adaptation, right? We have been able to instill measures through our critical incident team to be able to potentially reopen classrooms if it's necessary. But as we're starting to look forward for international students, I think what we're doing is, this is going to go back to one of the first things, diversify. Okay. Now, for a lot of our agents and business partners that we're working with, this is one of the main reasons why we're talking about non-COE courses, is to be able to diversify your opportunities to be able to bring in students. And one of the non-COEs, we believe, is a great way for us to be able to help both parties, both business partners, both relationships move forward. Okay. Now, that's not necessarily easy. Of course, we had relied heavily on international student recruitment for years. And I think the distribution inside our own business was mainly one-sided from 2016, 2017, from what I remember, when I was out in the field with the rest of the team. Now, as we're looking at that, as we're looking at how we're able to move things forward, I know hinting is a challenge. I mean, I'll cut it really quickly because, as you guys can all tell by my accent, I'm not Australian. I'm from the United States, and my president hints at a lot of different things, and there's nothing that can actually come out of it until we do an analysis together as a team and something actually is implemented. But one of the major things that we're doing is we're diversifying not only the opportunities for students, but opportunities for our business partners as well. It's a great question, James. Thank you. That's a really great question. Okay. Do any of these non-COE course options provide credit into higher education? Barry, will you talk this one, please?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, like theory or non-theory, they are the same quality. So when students complete all the assignment, all the like the requirements and the work placement, they get the same certificate with the theory students. Definitely in Australia, because we have the CRICOS or RTO. So students, when they finish, they get the AQF level certificate. So definitely they can use it for the credit transfer at the university in the future. Yes.
Great. Quick poll number 2, closed out. We've got 78 participants. I understand you were all busy and this is taking a little bit of time. If you were an onshore agent, where are you located? 50% New South Wales. I had a feeling that distribution was going to be there. Unfortunately, the 16% of others, 16% Tasmania, 13% Victoria, 13% Queensland. Now, I think the reason why I put in this poll, was because one thing we were talking about earlier was with Barry was travel and tourism. Yeah. Now, travel and tourism inside of Queensland, one of the areas of one of the states that most of the individuals are actually going and doing tourism, right? And also inside of Tasmania, is we are the only CRICOS registered provider to be able to provide students with an opportunity to go to Tasmania and stay ahead of the curve, right? That's one thing that we're trying to do, because we understand that we know borders will open up eventually, and as James Palmer pointed out, we don't know when, but we can prepare for the future and diversify the options for our students. So this is one of the main reasons why I put on this poll, and I'm really glad to have that information. We have a really great diverse team and a really great diverse business partners here. Yeah, we do have, there's a lot of agents who are in New South Wales as well. All right, I'm gonna jump in on this next one and then answer these other questions as we keep going, okay? All right.
Yes, Michael.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. So because previously you asked me the question about like university credit, right? Definitely, we want to mention we have the pathway for the SCU and CQU, and also the Griffith University. We have the articulation, so they all can check the information through our website. We put all the details. Yeah. So it's a really good opportunity. Like they can learn the vocational, and maybe they have interest for the higher education. They can get some credit.
Yeah, and if a student is ever interested in this, I had highlighted the Heart Services team. Okay, now the last part, that T, is the transition to the future. This is talking about articulation. This is talking about individuals who have these specific units and credits and how they actually work with specific universities for higher education.
Yeah.
Great point, Barry. Thank you very much for bringing that up. That's very good. Okay. All right. All right. Bawina Singh. Okay. Do non-COE courses have an IELTS requirement or PTA? Okay. I think we covered this one quite well. So I think we're going to move on.
Because they want to know, like, what's the requirements for them. So
Yeah.
basically, like, see, if they don't have any IELTS or PT, maybe because I think this type of student ask question is they don't have a PT or IELTS, or probably they have a partner visa, so they want to know, what's the requirements for the academic or English requirements. So we all can see we can do the like a step interview, no problem.
Exactly right.
And efficiency with our back.
Yeah, very good, very good. And I think that's a great question. Launching another poll. How many of you sold a non-COE course before? We're launching it right now. Please respond when you have the option. Okay. All right. Hey, Mayank. Gee, good to see you. Okay. Okay. I see Mr. Bulesh Sharma in here. Thank you, Bulesh. Okay, question from Facebook. Can a student who is on a student 500 visa take a non-COE course as an additional course? Nikhil, we jump in on this.
Yeah. If you are holding student visa, you cannot study without COE. You must require study COE to study on student visa. So we cannot offer non-COE course to any of student visa holders. So better to apply after completion of your student visa. If you are on 485 or if you are PR, you can apply for non-COE course.
There is another product called a concurrent course.
Yeah, concurrent.
Yes.
Barry, do you want to talk about this a little bit, or do you think we should hold off on that one and do case by case?
Yeah, I think this one is case by case.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a concurrent course, which is someone who has a COE but they would like to take another course, okay, please contact your sales manager. Okay, so we can talk more about this. I'd like to keep the conversation more geared towards non-COE products, all COVID updates. Okay, but that is a great question, and Bulesh, I think we've been able to answer this question quite clearly. Okay. 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 Yeah, absolutely. Kovan Barar, basically at the end of this session, what we're going to do is you will all be receiving a follow-up email, and then you will also have access to the agent portal, which you've already logged in to register, and I really appreciate you doing that. Later on today, not immediately after this, because we had a feeling that many potentially people may jump in and try to quote unquote, jump the gun and get some information from us. So basically what had happened was that we will be sharing this information on our agent portal. On the agent portal, you need to take the quiz in order to be eligible for the promotion, the webinar education promotion discount, okay? There's a lot of words that we've been going through today. I apologize, okay? Now, as you have agreed on the terms and conditions, there are specific steps, okay? The goal of this, though, the whole goal of this webinar is not only to educate, right? To educate our business partners, but then also for us to help you start selling more non-COE, okay? Because if I'm looking at this poll correctly, we had 51 individuals who were polled on this. 58 have not sold a non-COE, 42 have, okay? Now, as we're looking at that, if there's 58% of the agents who have not sold a non-COE course, there's potentially an opportunity for you to be able to not only bring more students, but then also for you to be able to diversify your own portfolio, okay? Now, also, we're going to reward our business partners with that for a $200 education webinar promotion, okay? Now, once you finish this webinar, there will be a quiz, 10 true false, very straightforward questions on there, 70% correct Also directly underneath that will be download the PDF. And the PDF has all of the slides available for you. And then also I'll be inputting the website for ACOSS, which gives the data information for the Australian Council of Social Services. Okay, great question, Kovan. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on. Any change in in-state intakes for offshore students? Okay, the next intake that we have, next intake is August intake. Okay, Barry, can you talk a little bit about August intake?
You mean for offshore students, right?
Yes.
Yes, so definitely we open like for onshore, we have like a weekly intake from the June to September. So offshore, normally it takes like 1 to 3 months to get a visa. So if you are in now, maybe you can go to the September intake to give the like a 1 or 2 months time to get a visa granted.
Okay. Now, I'm getting another question that we have. Barry, can you elaborate just a little bit more about Southern Cross University and the articulation agreement that we have with them, please?
Oh yes, we have like articulation with our SCU, and also they will definitely will come to our Friday meeting to give more details. I think at that time in this Friday strategic meeting, we get more information about, like, for example, they study which course and get how many credit for the university bachelor degree. So that's what I know so far.
Okay. Now, also when it comes to Southern Cross University, this is where the Heart Services team comes back in. Okay. Now, also directly on our website, you're able to see some more information. And let me make sure that I have a mirror on this one. No, who was talking about that? We can send more information directly about the articulation agreements that we have. Our head of marketing and communications, Ms. Josie Casella, has also put together an outstanding brochure that articulates the information very well about transitions to the future for our students with Southern Cross University. Now, I'll make sure that I'll talk with Josie and get her approval prior to doing anything to see if we can put this up for services for our individuals, for our business partners, so that you can also have another tool in your tool belt to be able to sell to the rest of your students and clientele. Okay.
Michael,
Okay.
this is Fiona Key.
Hi, Fiona.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Michael. This is Fiona Key, and hi, everyone. This is Fiona Key, Head of Strategy. Just wanted to let everyone know about the SCU partnership in more detail. Most of the time, if you complete a diploma in AIBT, you should be able to get a 1-year credit from a 3-year course. And if you have done advanced diploma, you should be able to get 1.5 years credits or 12 units on a 3-year program. We are going to have a exclusive webinar about the articulation. So by then, let's hope that all our valued business partners would actually join us. And as rightfully what Michael have stated, we will soon be having a brochure to actually help you with the articulation guidelines. So let's hope that we can all work together as one and give our students a better outcome in terms of their career development within Australia. So stay tuned. We will have more information about our articulation arrangement with SCU, and that is going to help you a lot, help all of us a lot when we actually talk to our students. And as Michael have stated, the Heart Services team will also have that information to support your students. So for further information, stay tuned to our future webinar. Our talk to your sales managers about the articulation arrangements. We will also be inviting SCU to one of our strategy meeting this Friday, as what Barry have stated. And in one of our future webinar, we will be also inviting Mayank from SCU to actually join us in a cross marketing webinar campaign very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Great news. Thank you, Fiona, for that. Okay, another question from Facebook. Okay, due to the ongoing COVID-19 situation, are there any changes in the amount of face-to-face training required to complete the training? Yes, there is. Okay, now, as I mentioned earlier, our critical incident team is going to be analyzing the ability for us to be able to bring back students on a case-by-case basis. Luckily, most of the states and territories have already surpassed the stage 2 and are moving into stage 3, which is reopening businesses in the community. Now, it really depends. It really depends on the course and the face-to-face training and potentially the placement as well. Okay, now there have been guidelines from the government that have enabled us to be able to work a little bit with inside those, to work and adjust as needed, right? Because we're all working together to be able to make some changes. So I'm getting a couple of different bumps up over here. Okay, now, so when it comes to COVID-19, it is a case-by-case, school-by-school return. So Facebook user, thank you very much for the question. If you are a student of AIBT Global and you are concerned about your face-to-face training that is required to complete your course, please get in touch with the Heart Services team, okay? They will be able to assist you and give you a better understanding of what are the next steps moving forward. Okay, great question. Thank you, Bulash, for pushing that over here. Okay. Can we have quiz questions for the offshore agency? All of the quiz questions are going to be available for every single agent, Mr. Mayank Jain. Great to see you back in. Thank you. All of the quiz questions will be available. We'll be uploading them directly to the agent portal, which is what you need to go to be able to complete that. Really quick 10 questions. Be straightforward. Kovan Parar, thank you so much. And Mayank, hi Fiona. That's great. Thank you very much. Tayyab Tatra, thank you very much for saying that. It says very useful. Okay, and we have another question. Okay, do we have a package promotion with Southern Cross University like a diploma plus degree? Again, I'm going to go ahead and jump in on this one from Fiona. As she has stated, most of the time, if you complete a diploma, that you may be able to have 1-year credit transfer. However, we are unable to be able to give all that information out and confirmation until we have the marketing materials, and that has been run by our head of compliance, right? Our head of strategy, and most importantly, the head of marketing and communications. Okay, so once that information is out, all of our valued business partners will be the first ones to know, so that you have other opportunities for all of us to be able to recruit and bring more students and diversify their options to be able to move into the future. Great question, and I like the ambition on that one. Okay, I think I've got one more poll. Okay, one more poll. Now, I had asked, how many of you had sold COE, non-COE courses before? 42% said yes. So this last question is for the 42%. Okay, actually, no, it's for all the individuals. Maybe some have had this. Are students asking your agency about non-COE courses? It's a multiple choice. There's 4 different answers. Number 1, yes, very much. People are asking me all the time. Number 2, a little bit. There's a little bit of interest. Number 3, yeah, there's not really, but there's some interest. There's some inquiries. And number 4, there's no interest whatsoever. Okay, if you can please just answer this question quickly for us, and then I'm going to double check and see if we have any more questions that we have. Okay, I've got Mayank, that's a great saying thank you to Fiona for the Southern Cross information. Very good. Okay, Mr. Nasif Ahmed, what will happen to work placement during the COVID-19 situation? Okay, unfortunately, I can't give a blanket response to all of the different schools that we have and all of the different courses that go into this. As Barry had mentioned, especially for community services, there's many different hours and placement that we're working with. Again, for community services, I believe that they've been able to have a little bit more flexibility because they've been deemed essential workers. However, the bigger question may be more about non-essential workers. That might be in the commercial cookery, patisserie, hospitality industries, where those are slowly coming back to normal. Okay. Now, I can't state on when, but I know that that we are working vigilantly to ensure that our students are not having any issues when it comes to any of the work placement. Now, I just got a message from the head of marketing and communications, Ms. Josie Casella. Now, we're also providing simulations for individuals. Now, she's part of the critical incident team, and I know that there's a lot of other individuals who are taking this information to be able to understand what is the best opportunity for us to be able to do this. Actually, in one of the videos earlier, you could actually see a simulated training in 2 different areas. I saw one at Sheldon School of Hospitality Management. Now, this was for, I believe it was either commercial cookery or it was another one where individuals are actually using how to make and prepare coffee. Now, if you're interested to be able to find out how a simulated training will work, you can go to our YouTube page and you can search on there online training, okay, or virtual classroom training under Sheldon School of Hospitality. Now, when you click on that, you will actually see one of our trainers go through and describe individuals how to be able to compress and add coffee into the handle. I'm not a coffee maker, I'll be honest, I do instant, but into the coffee handle and remove the cup so that individuals are able to see how to tamp and prepare coffee this way, okay? So simulated training is also enabling us to be able to become a little bit more flexible and adapt to the situation for COVID-19. Really great question, Nasif. Thank you very much. Okay, what are the credit training arrangements for Southern Cross University and for what courses? Bulesh, what we'll have to do is you're gonna, all of us, I know this question probably came from Facebook, so thank you very much for passing that along. What will happen is that, again, there's going to be another webinar, and once we have a discussion with the Southern Cross University representative, Mayank, on Friday, we'll have a little bit more information, but all of that needs to get run up the ladder before it goes out public. Okay. Now, the final poll has come in. We have 53% response on this one. I'm going to go ahead and share the results. Only 3% are actually gaining a lot of interest for non-COE courses. And 50% are saying there's a little, and then the other ones are saying not so much, and then there's 0 interest at 17. Okay, so what that's telling me, if I'm looking at this, is that number one, maybe there isn't a lot of information in the market for our students. Maybe they don't know about these opportunities. Maybe there's a little interest, but maybe students haven't recommended this to other students for non-COE courses. What are the benefits? What this is telling me is that maybe there is an education gap, not with our agents, but with the ultimate client, our students. And how can we bridge that gap together as a team, right? I think this webinar is the first step, one of the first steps for us to be able to bridge that gap and help individuals be able to diversify their opportunities inside Australia through multiple courses. The 0 interest in students, and again, I think all of this actually ties back directly into education and educating our students and how we can do better to be able to tell them what their options are. Again, I mean, if a student doesn't want it, the student doesn't want it. It's perfectly fine, but it's just kind of helping them understand. Now, I'm going to double check and see if there's any more questions that have come in, but we've taken up quite a bit of your valuable time, and I really want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending the webinar. Now, on this, let me just put this away so that I can actually put this presentation on. The final aspect that we have is just a big thank you to our business partners. We've been analyzing our numbers, and it would not have been possible for AIBT Global to have recruited approximately 1,200 students for the first half of the year in 2020. Especially in this climate with this COVID situation, we could not have done it without you. Thank you. Thank you for your help and your dedication in your business. We really appreciate it. Final topic before I let you all go. Upcoming webinars. Okay. I'll be working with Ms. Hannah Sharma, the head of Community Services at Diana School of Community Services, to be talking about a little bit more aspects when it comes to these courses and what is available and how to be able to present this information. We'll also bring in another member of the sales staff as well. Another one that was also touched about recognition of prior learning. Okay. Other regional areas will be another big one. Student of the Year nominees and our Business Partner of the Year awards. Now, finally, last wrap up. Okay, education promotion, education webinar promotion. In order to be able to get this $200 off, you've watched the webinar, go back to the agent portal. You will click on the webinars. On the webinars, you'll be able to take the quiz. A quick quiz. Okay, you'll also be able to download the PDF of this presentation. Okay, once you've done that, you also need to send us a student. Okay, once you've sent us a student within 30 days of the webinar, and this will continue throughout all the different webinars that we will have, you will be eligible for a $200 discount. Sorry, $200 promotion, not discount. Discounts are applied to students. $200 promotion to agencies. If you have any questions, my door's open. All of our sales staff is there to be able to help you and answer as well. So you can always find our information directly on the commercial sales team underneath contact us on our website. But for now, this is all of us saying a big thank you. I'm going to say thank you very much from Denver, Colorado. I'm going to pass it over to these guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk with you all very soon.